All right, welcome back to Too Lazy to Read. We love diving deep into these fascinating books, and today we're tackling one that's all about strategy, power dynamics, and really understanding how the world works.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, especially for our younger listeners out there who are looking to, level up in their lives, their careers, relationships, all that. We're cracking open the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene.
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah. So this book, think of it as like a guide to understanding those unspoken rules of the game, It can get a little Machiavellian at times, but ultimately it's all about self-improvement and achieving your goals. Ready to unlock some secrets?
I'm always ready for some secrets. I think it's fascinating how this book draws wisdom from historical figures and events, right, to kind of give you that playbook.
Yeah, and it really makes you think about how these laws have played out throughout history.
Okay.
Okay, so let's jump right in. Law number 1, never outshine the master. Interesting one.
You think so? This one always kind of throws people off, especially if you're super ambitious and eager to impress.
Yeah, because we're often told, stand out from the crowd,
Right.
Be the best.
Right, exactly. But this law is all about being strategic with your brilliance.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's not about dimming your light or anything. It's more about being mindful of how you're shining, making sure you're not accidentally casting a shadow on your superiors.
So how do you strike that balance then?
Well, think of it you're adding to their shine, not competing with it. Make your boss look good.
Yeah, make them feel smart.
Exactly. When you contribute to their success, it reflects well on you too.
Okay, so it's like a win-win. You're helping them shine, and you're shining in the process.
Absolutely. It's a long game,
Right. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Uh-huh. Something like that.
Okay, law number 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Oof, this one sounds kind of ruthless, right?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more, shall we say, provocative laws. But, Greene isn't saying you should be paranoid or anything.
Yeah, it's not about being a cynic.
No, it's more about understanding, the complexities of human nature.
Okay, yeah.
Friendships can be tricky, right? They can be vulnerable to envy, betrayal, all sorts of things.
Yeah, and circumstances change, people change.
Exactly. So the point here is to be discerning about who you place your absolute trust in.
Have a little healthy skepticism, maybe.
Yeah, and as for the using enemies part, well, sometimes having a rival can actually be a good thing.
Oh, so?
Well, it can push you to improve, to stay sharp. It can be a motivator.
Like you don't want to let them get ahead of you, so you got to step up your game.
Exactly. Think of it like a friendly competition that helps both of you level up.
Okay, I like that. Healthy competition. All right, on to law number 3. Conceal your intentions. This one sounds like something straight out of the spy movie.
Ha ha ha, yeah. Picture this. Secret agents, hidden agendas.
Smoke-filled rooms.
Exactly. Okay, but in reality, it's about being strategic and selective about what you reveal. Think of a poker player, right? They keep their cards close to their chest.
Yeah, so you're saying not to show all your cards right away.
Right. If you reveal your motives too early, you give others the opportunity to, undermine you, maybe even steal your ideas.
So how do you do that? How do you conceal your intentions without being, deceptive?
Well, it's about observation, listening more than you speak, and being adaptable, right?
Yeah. Reading the room, tailoring your approach.
Exactly. You don't have to be like a master manipulator.
Yeah, you don't have to be like a shady character.
No, not at all. Just a little bit of strategic ambiguity can go a long way.
I like it. Okay. Law number 4 seems to fit right in with this idea. Always say less than necessary.
Ooh, that's a good one. Brevity is power.
Yeah, this one seems pretty self-explanatory, right?
Yeah. It is, in a way, but it's about more than just, not talking too much. It's about the power of silence.
Ooh, I like that.
When you speak concisely and thoughtfully, your words carry more weight,
Yeah, it's like you create an air of mystery. People lean in wanting more.
Precisely. You're not boring them with unnecessary details.
You're leaving them wanting more.
You got it. Speaking of making an impression, law number 5. So much depends on reputation guard it with your life.
Oh, yeah. Reputation's everything these days.
More than ever. Especially in the age of social media, right? One viral moment, one careless comment.
It can all come crashing down so fast.
Exactly. Your reputation is like currency.
That's a good analogy.
It takes time and effort to build, but it can be destroyed in an instant.
So how do we protect it then? This precious currency.
Be mindful of your actions, the company you keep, how you present yourself online and offline.
Right, your digital footprint.
Everything. Remember, your reputation precedes you.
Make sure it's saying the right things.
Exactly. Now, law number 6 seems kind of contradictory. Court attention at all cost.
Yeah, so which is it? Blend in or stand out? Make up your mind.
Well, it's not about contradicting. It's about recognizing that different situations call for different approaches.
Okay, so context is key.
Exactly. Sometimes you need to fly under the radar, right?
Right, lay low.
And other times you need to make a statement. It all depends.
So when is it appropriate to court attention?
When you have something valuable to offer, when you want to establish your personal brand, advocate for a cause.
So it's like strategic self-promotion.
You got it. All right, ready for law number 7? This one usually gets some interesting reactions. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit.
Ooh, that does sound kind of, I don't know, ethically questionable.
I know, right?
Are we talking about taking advantage of others?
No, not at all. It's about delegation and leadership, but it needs to be done with integrity.
Okay, so how do you walk that line?
It's about leveraging people's talents, their expertise, to achieve a common goal.
Okay, so teamwork again.
Exactly. But you're the leader, you're the visionary, you take responsibility for the outcome, you know. But you also give credit where credit is due.
So it's about, like, orchestrating, but recognizing that you didn't do it all alone.
Right. Success is rarely a solo endeavor.
Okay, I like that. Law number 8. This one sounds a bit like dating advice. Make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary.
Ooh, good one. Yeah, this actually applies to way more than just romance.
Oh, okay. How so?
It's about making yourself appear valuable, desirable in any context.
So how do you create that magnetic pull?
Well, you got to cultivate your skills, your expertise, build a strong network. You got to project confidence.
So it's about becoming the go-to person.
Yes. The person with the solutions, the insights.
People naturally want to be around that,
Absolutely. They gravitate towards value.
Okay, this next one seems to be all about actions speaking louder than words. Law number 9. Win through your actions, never through argument.
Yes. This one's a classic. Because arguing rarely changes anyone's mind, right?
Nope. Usually just ends up in frustration.
Exactly. It's much more powerful to prove your point through your accomplishments.
Yeah, let your results do the talking.
Show, don't tell.
Okay, law number 10 is a bit of a, I don't know, tough one. Infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky.
That sounds kind of harsh, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does on the surface. But, Greene isn't saying you should abandon your friends when they're going through a tough time.
Right. We're not talking about being heartless.
Exactly. It's more about, being mindful of the energy you surround yourself with. Negativity can be contagious.
Oh, that's true. Misery loves company and all that.
Right. And protecting your own energy and focus is important for achieving your goals. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, inspire you, not drain you.
So choose your company wisely. Make sure those relationships are mutually beneficial. Exactly. On to law number 11, which might seem a little controlling. Learn to keep people dependent on you.
This one does make me raise an eyebrow a little bit.
I get it. It sounds kind of manipulative, right? But again, it's about nuance.
Okay, good.
It's not about creating unhealthy dependencies. It's more about making yourself indispensable.
So how do you do that?
By possessing unique skills, knowledge, or resources that others need.
So you become an invaluable asset.
Exactly. When you have something others can't get elsewhere, your value increases.
Okay, that makes sense. People rely on you because you have something they need.
Precisely. All right, ready for number 12. This one's a bit of a mind game. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim.
This one sounds like it requires a deft touch. How do you use honesty strategically without being deceptive?
It's tricky, right? Well, think about it. Honesty builds trust. People let their guard down when they see you as genuine.
So you're not lying, but you're being strategic about what you reveal when you reveal it.
Exactly. Think of that guy, Count Victor Lustig, who managed to sell the Eiffel Tower twice.
Wait, really?
Yeah. He was a master at blending honesty with deception.
Wow. So it's just enough truth to make the lies believable.
Right. Which brings us to law number 13. When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude.
So you're saying guilt trips are ineffective?
Pretty much. People are way more inclined to help if they see a benefit to themselves.
Okay, so frame the request in a way that aligns with their interests.
You got it. Find that common ground, that win-win situation.
Okay, law number 14. This one sounds a little sneaky. Pose as a friend. Work as a spy.
Haha, I know, right? Like we're suddenly in a spy movie.
Seriously, are we advocating for espionage here?
Not exactly, haha. But it's about the importance of gathering information, being observant.
Okay, so more like being aware of your surroundings.
Right. In any field, knowing your rivals, their strengths, their weaknesses, that gives you a strategic advantage.
So it's like being a good listener, reading between the lines, picking up on cues.
Exactly. You don't need to be James Bond to benefit from this law. Just be a keen observer of human nature.
All right, law number 15. Crush your enemy. Totally. Okay, this one's a little intense.
I know, right? It sounds brutal. But Greene's point is that in power dynamics, leaving even a little ember burning can lead to problems down the road.
So, like, you got to be decisive. Make sure conflicts are truly resolved.
Yeah, and not necessarily through, like, violence or anything. It can be more about being thorough, ensuring that things are truly put to rest.
So it's like a clean break, no lingering resentment.
Exactly. Now, ready for a bit of a counterintuitive one? Law number 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor.
This one's interesting. It's like the opposite of always be present, right?
Right. Because sometimes scarcity creates value.
Oh, okay. How so?
Think about it. A rare gem is more precious because it's not easily found.
I see.
Don't be afraid to say no sometimes. Be selective with your time, your commitments.
So, like, don't be constantly available.
Exactly. When you make yourself scarce, you create a sense of demand. People value your time more.
Okay, so it's about setting boundaries, making sure your time and energy are respected.
You got it. Now, this next one takes strategic absence a step further. Law number 17. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability.
Ooh, okay, now we're talking about keeping people on their toes.
Exactly. You want to be a little bit of a wild card.
Keep them guessing.
If they can't predict your next move, they're less likely to try to control you, manipulate you.
So it's not about being erratic or unreliable. It's more about, like, having a few surprises up your sleeve.
Precisely. Think of Bobby Fischer, that legendary chess player. He was known for his unpredictable behavior, kept his opponents off balance.
Yeah, gave him a psychological edge. All right, law number 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous.
This is a good reminder that true strength lies in connection, not isolation.
Yeah, building walls might seem protective, but...
Yeah. But it can actually make you more vulnerable in the long run.
Yeah, and it can distort your view of the world, too.
Exactly. You need that outside perspective, that support system.
So build bridges, not walls.
Right. Connection makes you resilient. Okay. Law number 19. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person.
This one seems pretty straightforward. You gotta know your audience, right?
Exactly. Different people respond to different approaches. What works with one person might backfire with another.
Yeah, you gotta be able to read people, understand their motivations.
Tailor your communication style accordingly. Be observant. Be empathetic.
Okay, law number 20. Do not commit to anyone.
This one always sparks debate.
Sounds a bit cynical, right? Aren't we supposed to be loyal to our friends and allies?
Of course, but this law is more about maintaining your independence, your flexibility.
Okay, I'm listening.
Committing too early to any one person, any one ideology, can actually limit your options.
Make you vulnerable.
Exactly. So stay open-minded, evaluate situations carefully, make strategic alliances, not blind commitments.
All right, law number 21. This one sounds a bit sneaky again. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark.
Strategic vulnerability.
That's a playing dumb.
It can be a surprisingly effective tactic. Appearing less intelligent, less capable can disarm your opponent, make them underestimate you.
And then, bam, you strike when they least expect it.
You got it. Think of Joseph Wilde, that con man known as the Yellow Kid. He was a master of playing the fool, using his apparent naivete to lure in his victims.
Wow, so it's about using people's vanity, their assumptions against them.
Precisely. Okay, law number 22. Use the surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power.
This one sounds kind of like Jedi mind trickish.
Haha, right. But it's about recognizing that surrender isn't always defeat. Sometimes it's a strategic move.
So like choosing your battles, knowing when to retreat and regroup.
Exactly. Think of that Chinese general, Sima Yi. He used a feigned retreat to lure his opponent into a trap.
Ooh, clever. So it's about using your opponent's momentum against them.
Exactly. Turning their aggression into your advantage.
I like it. Okay, law number 23, concentrate your forces.
This one's all about focus, efficiency.
Don't spread yourself too thin.
Exactly. When you focus your energy and resources on a single clear goal, you increase your chances of success.
Makes sense. Any examples?
Think of the Rothschild banking family. They built their empire by focusing on a specific industry and working together as a cohesive unit.
Okay, so identify your strengths, focus on what you do best, and go all in.
You got it.
Okay, law number 24, play the perfect courtier. This one sounds like it requires a lot of social finesse.
It does. It's about mastering the art of social intelligence, being adaptable, charming, discreet.
Like a diplomat.
Exactly. Navigating those complex social landscapes, building alliances, diffusing conflicts.
So it's about reading social cues, understanding power dynamics, knowing how to present yourself effectively.
Precisely. Law number 25 is all about self-invention. Recreate yourself.
Ooh, I like this one. It's like, you're not limited by your past, your circumstances. You have the power to shape your own identity.
Exactly. Think of Julius Caesar. He was a master of self-promotion. He understood the importance of image and used it to craft a persona that projected power and authority.
Okay, so take control of your narrative.
Present yourself to the world in a way that aligns with your goals.
I like it. Okay, law number 26, keep your hands clean.
A classic. This one's all about ethics, about protecting your reputation.
Yeah, make sure your actions are above reproach.
Exactly. Because even the appearance of wrongdoing can damage your credibility.
Especially these days, right? One little slip up and it's all over the internet.
Exactly. So transparency, integrity, that's key.
Okay, law number 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. This one sounds a little, manipulative.
Yeah, it can be, right? It's about understanding that deep human need for belonging, for meaning. People are drawn to strong leaders, compelling narratives that offer them hope, purpose, a sense of community.
Like those charismatic figures who just, like, draw people in.
Exactly. Think of the charlatans back in the day, you know?
A snake oil salesman.
Yeah, traveling from town to town, offering miracle cures, promising wealth and happiness. They understood how to tap into people's desires, their fears.
And create a following based on belief.
Precisely. It's a reminder to be a critical thinker, question the information you're given, and be wary of those who promise easy solutions or exploit your vulnerabilities.
Okay, law number 28. Interaction with boldness.
Ah, yes. Sometimes you got to make a statement.
This one seems to go against the idea of being cautious and strategic.
Well, it's not about throwing caution to the wind, but recognizing that boldness can be a powerful tool.
Okay, in what way?
It can mask weaknesses, intimidate opponents. Think of Ivan the Terrible. He used a calculated display of weakness to eventually gain absolute power.
Wow, so, like, play possum a little bit?
Kind of. It's about being unpredictable.
Yeah.
Sometimes the most effective strategy is the one that is least expected.
Okay, I like it. Law number 29. Plan all the way to the end.
This is all about thinking long-term, having a vision, and anticipating obstacles.
So it's not just about setting goals, it's about mapping out the entire journey.
Exactly. Think about Vasco Núñez de Balboa. He discovered the Pacific Ocean, an incredible feat. But he didn't plan for what would happen afterward.
Oh, what do you mean?
He didn't account for rivals, political machinations. He ultimately lost everything. So it's a reminder that achieving a goal is only half the battle. You got to secure your position, maintain your success.
Plan for the aftermath.
Exactly. Okay, law number 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless.
Ooh, this one sounds fun. Like, make it look easy, even when it's not.
Exactly. It adds to the mystique.
Yeah.
Think about a skilled athlete, right? Or a performer.
Right, they make those difficult feats look so effortless.
It's impressive. But behind that seeming effortlessness is a ton of hard work, practice, dedication, mastery.
Right, it's like that saying, the harder you work, the luckier you get.
Exactly. Okay, law number 31. Control the options. Get others to play with the cards you deal.
Oh, I like this one. It's about setting the stage, having the upper hand.
Like a chess player, right. Anticipating their opponent's moves, setting traps.
So it's about thinking several steps ahead.
Understanding the power dynamics, influencing choices.
Okay, this next one seems to tap into psychology. Law number 32, play to people's fantasies.
Oh, yeah, this is a powerful one. It's about understanding that people are drawn to things that appeal to their desires, their aspirations.
So offer them a glimpse of something better.
Exactly. It's like that old saying, sell the sizzle, not the steak.
Any historical examples?
Think of Marco Bragadino, that alchemist who convinced people he could turn base metals into gold. He played on their desire for wealth, created a fantasy they wanted to believe.
Wow, so it's about tapping into that human desire for something more.
Exactly. But it's also a reminder to be discerning. Not everything that glitters is gold.
Right? Don't fall for those empty promises. Okay, this next one sounds a little, I don't know, dark. Law number 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew.
Ooh, this one's a little intense.
Yeah, like something out of a thriller novel.
Haha, I know. But really, it's about understanding that everyone has a point of leverage, a vulnerability.
So, like, what makes them tick?
Right. What are their motivations, their fears, their insecurities? It's about being a keen observer of human nature.
I could see how this could be used for good or for less than good purposes.
Absolutely. But knowledge is power, right? Even when it's a little uncomfortable.
Okay, law number 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one.
Yes. This one's about the power of self-confidence. If you carry yourself with dignity, people will treat you with respect.
So fake it till you make it.
Well, not exactly fake it. It's more about embodying that confidence even if you don't feel it all the time. Think about the difference between King Louis Philippe and Lola Montez.
Who are they?
Well, Louis Philippe tried to be a citizen king, downplaying his royal status. Lola Montez, on the other hand, acted like a queen, even though she wasn't one.
And who is more successful?
Lola, for sure. She understood that power is often about perception.
Okay, on to law number 35. Master the art of timing.
Timing is everything.
It really is.
Rushing into things can be disastrous, but so can waiting too long.
So patience is a virtue.
It can be, but it's more about recognizing the right moment to act.
Like seizing the opportunity when it presents itself.
Exactly. Greene talks about Talleyrand, the French statesman. He was a master of timing, knowing when to wait, when to strike.
So knowing when to hold 'em, when to fold 'em, when to go all in?
You got it. Okay, ready for law number 36? Disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge.
The power of indifference.
Exactly. When you show you don't care about something, you take away its power over you.
Don't let your enemies see you sweat.
Precisely. Ignoring them can be the best way to get under their skin.
Is there a historical example of this?
Greene talks about King Louis XIV. If someone displeased him, he would just pretend they didn't exist.
Wow, talk about a power move.
Right. Cold, but effective.
Okay, law number 37. Create compelling spectacles.
Yes. The power of visual persuasion.
So, put on a good show.
In a way, yes. A dramatic spectacle can capture people's attention, sway their opinions way more effectively than just words.
I can see that. Think about, like, political rallies or even, like, those big product launches.
Exactly. It's about creating an experience, a spectacle that people will remember.
Okay, law number 38. Think as you like, but behave like others.
This one's about the importance of fitting in.
So, conforming.
To a certain extent, yes. People are suspicious of those who are too different, too unconventional.
It can be seen as a threat.
Exactly. So sometimes it's more strategic to blend in, avoid drawing unnecessary attention.
But don't we want to encourage individuality? You know, being true to yourself?
Absolutely. But this law is about choosing your battles. Sometimes it's more effective to fly under the radar.
Okay, that makes sense. Law number 39. Stir up waters to catch fish.
This one's about using emotion to your advantage.
So playing on people's feelings.
It can be a powerful tactic. When people are angry, upset, they're less rational, less likely to think clearly.
So you can use that to your advantage.
Think of a skilled negotiator, you know? They know how to push their opponent's buttons, get them to make rash decisions.
Okay, on to law number 40. Despise the free lunch.
Yes. There's no such thing as a free lunch, right?
That's what they say.
When someone gives you something for free, there's almost always a string attached.
An ulterior motive.
Exactly. Remember that story of Nicolas Fouquet, the French finance minister? He threw this extravagant party for King Louis XIV thinking he was being generous.
What happened?
Louis saw it as a threat, a sign that Fouquet was getting too powerful. He had him imprisoned.
Wow. So it's about understanding that there's a power dynamic to gift giving.
Absolutely. Sometimes a gift is a way to buy influence or create an obligation.
Okay, law number 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes.
This one's about the challenges of following in the footsteps of a legend.
So it's better to be the first than the second.
It can be. When you're constantly compared to someone else, you're always in their shadow.
Right, you can never quite live up to the hype.
Think of Louis XV. He was a decent king, but he could never escape the legacy of his grandfather, Louis XIV, the Sun King.
So find your own path, create your own legacy.
Exactly. Okay, on to law number 42. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter.
This one sounds kind of aggressive.
It can be, but it's not always about literal violence. It's about recognizing that disrupting leadership can destabilize a whole group.
So eliminate the leader, the group falls apart.
It can be that straightforward, but it can also be more subtle. Isolating the leader, discrediting them, undermining their authority.
So disrupt the chain of command.
Exactly. Now, law number 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. This one's all about persuasion. Winning people over to your side, not through force, but through influence.
So charm them.
It can be part of it, but it's more than that. It's about understanding people's motivations, their desires, their fears, connecting with them on an emotional level.
Okay, so win their hearts and minds.
Exactly. Think of Cleopatra. She was a master of seduction. She charmed and manipulated some of the most powerful men in the world.
Yeah, she was a force to be reckoned with.
She understood that power is often about winning hearts and minds, not just battles.
Okay, on to law number 44. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect.
This one's a bit of a mind game.
Sounds like it.
It's about using your opponent's own tactics against them. Mirroring their behavior can be incredibly disarming.
So they're essentially fighting themselves.
Exactly. It throws them off balance, makes them question themselves.
Any historical examples of this?
Greene talks about how Ivan the Terrible, when he was young, was often mocked by the boyars. They would dress him up in royal robes and pretend to treat him like a czar just to laugh at him. Host, speaker. They were basically using psychological warfare on him, you know?
Wow, that's messed up.
It is, right. But, Ivan learned from that experience. When he came to power, he used the same tactic against his enemies.
So it's like turning the tables, using their own weapons against them.
Exactly. Okay, law number 45. Preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. This one's about understanding that people are naturally resistant to change, especially if it's too much, too fast.
Makes sense.
So, introduce change gradually, give people time to adjust.
Don't rock the boat too hard.
Exactly. Greene talks about Peter the Great of Russia. He was a reformer, but he was also smart about it. He knew if he pushed too hard, he would face backlash.
So like evolutionary, not revolutionary change.
Exactly. All right, law number 46. Never appear too perfect.
This one's interesting. Don't we want to strive for perfection?
Sure, we do. But this law is about recognizing that sometimes appearing too perfect can actually work against you.
How so?
Well, it can make you seem unapproachable, intimidating. People might get envious, resentful.
Yeah, nobody likes to know it all.
Right. It's good to be competent, of course, but also show a bit of vulnerability,
Let people see your human side.
Exactly. Makes you more relatable, more likable.
Okay, law number 47. Do not go past the mark you aimed for. In victory, learn when to stop.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Yeah, I think we've all been there. You get a taste of success and you want more, more, more.
Right. But that can be dangerous. Knowing when to stop, when to walk away is crucial.
So don't get greedy.
Exactly. Greene talks about Genghis Khan. Brilliant military leader, built a vast empire. But he also knew when to stop. He didn't overextend himself or let his ambition get the best of him.
Okay, that makes sense. Don't let success go to your head.
Exactly. All right, ready for the final law? Law number 48. Assume formlessness.
This one sounds kind of mysterious, philosophical.
It is. It's about the power of adaptability, of being fluid, unpredictable.
So, be like water.
Yes, exactly. Water can flow around obstacles, adapt to any shape. It's both yielding and powerful.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. But how does that apply to, power dynamics?
Well, when you're formless, you're hard to pin down, hard to control. You're constantly changing, evolving, adapting to the situation.
So don't be rigid, don't be predictable.
Exactly. Think about the Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu. He talked about wu wei, or non-action.
Non-action, what does that even mean?
It's not about being passive. It's more about being responsive, going with the flow, adapting to the changing circumstances, seizing opportunities as they arise.
That's deep. So you're saying the ultimate power is in being adaptable.
It's definitely a key component. Rigidity can make you brittle, easily broken. but formlessness that allows you to bend, to adapt, to survive.
Okay, I'm starting to see it. It's like being a chameleon, right? Adapting to your environment.
Exactly. You
Well,
got it.
wow, we've covered a lot of ground. These 48 laws, they're fascinating, but also kind of like, I don't know, daunting.
I get it. It can be a lot to take in. But remember, these are just tools. How you choose to use them, that's up to you.
Right. You don't have to employ every single one, and you certainly don't have to use them in a manipulative way.
Exactly. But being aware of them, understanding how power works, can help you navigate the world more effectively.
Yeah, make smarter choices, achieve your goals.
Exactly. And for our younger listeners out there who are just starting out, on their journey, I think the biggest takeaway is just to be aware of the game,
Huh.
understand the rules, even the unspoken ones.
Right, knowledge is power.
And once you understand how power works, you can choose how you want to play.
Okay, that's great advice. So before we wrap up, I'm curious, is there anything in the book, like a particular law or anecdote, that really stood out to you?
Well, there's this one story that Greene tells about a young Catherine the Great.
Ooh, Catherine the Great. Okay.
Yeah, she had just arrived in Russia.
So she's not the empress yet.
No, not yet. She's just this young German princess,
Married to the heir to the throne.
Exactly. And she's surrounded by enemies.
I bet.
Yeah, the Russian court was like a snake pit full of intrigue and backstabbing.
It sounds terrifying.
It was. But Catherine was smart. She knew she had to play the game carefully. So what did she do?
What did she do?
She learned Russian. She converted to Orthodoxy. She studied Russian history and culture.
Wow, she really immersed herself.
She did. And she did it all while pretending to be meek and submissive,
Ooh, playing the long game.
Exactly. She was biding her time, waiting for the right moment to strike.
And she did eventually, didn't she?
Oh, yeah, big time. She orchestrated a coup, overthrew her husband, and became the Empress of Russia.
Talk about a power move.
Right. And it all started with her understanding the importance of Law 43, work on the hearts and minds of others. She won over the Russian people and the army by showing that she respected their culture and their beliefs.
So she used her knowledge of their hearts and minds to gain power.
Exactly. And she used that power to rule Russia for over 3 decades.
Wow, that's a powerful example of how these laws can play out in the real world.
It is. Right? It shows how understanding human nature and applying these strategies can lead to incredible success.
Okay, well, we've explored all 48 laws.
Quite a journey.
It really has.
It's
been fascinating and insightful and, yeah, a little daunting at times.
I get it. But it's important to remember that these laws are just tools, right?
Yeah, how we use them is up to us.
Exactly. You don't have to be Machiavelli to benefit from this knowledge. You can use it to improve your life, your relationships, your career, without becoming a ruthless manipulator.
Right. It's all about using this knowledge ethically and strategically.
Exactly.
Well, I think our listeners, especially our younger listeners who are looking to make their mark on the world, have a lot to think about.
I hope so.
This book really does give you a new perspective on power and how it works.
It does. It challenges you to think differently, to question your assumptions, and to be more strategic in your actions.
Okay, so before we wrap up, is there anything else, any final thoughts, any words of wisdom you want to leave our listeners with?
Well, I would just say this. The world can be a complex and challenging place, but with knowledge and self-awareness, we can all navigate it more effectively. We can achieve our goals, build meaningful relationships, and make a positive impact on the world.
That's a great message to end on.
Remember, knowledge is power.
And with great power comes great responsibility.
Use it wisely.
Well said. Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Thank you for joining us on this journey.
It's been a pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, stay curious, stay ambitious, and keep learning. We'll see you in the next episode of Too Lazy to Read.